ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930 present The Drive. Winner of the 2024 West Virginia Broadcasters Association Excellence in Broadcasting Award for Best Talk Show.
Happy Depth Chart Day. It is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. We have a depth chart. Okay, let me temper this. Based unofficially on preseason, we have a depth chart. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So we've got a sort of a rough draft. This isn't going to be official. Game day we'll have a little bit better of an idea. Again, this isn't official. Right now, quarterback, it says Braylon Braxton or Stone Earl or Cole Pennington. So we've narrowed it down to 3. So we're right back where we started. Hope you guys are patient on Saturday. I got a feeling from Coach today. This is still going to be a work in progress, and we're going to hear a little bit from Coach. Earlier today, I had a chance to head over to Marshall and see the guy right there in person, make it real for me. We got a game to get ready for on Saturday, so we'll hear from Coach in a few minutes. Also, a little bit later on, something I wanted to do last week, and we couldn't make it work until today. I've got Marshall cross-country coach Caleb Bowen joining us. Last week, the women preseason picked 3rd. The men picked 6th. So we're going to have Caleb come on here in the next few minutes, about 5:30 or so. Talk to him a little bit about what's happening with his program tomorrow. As a programming note, we got Julie Folks coming on tomorrow as well. So I'm looking forward to talking to her. And, of course, we will continue with our football coverage. We'll hear from Coach Huff in just a few minutes. But we got something. I can look at a few of these positions and go, okay, yeah, that's locked. That's where we're at right now. For example, how many of you really think that Bryce Ramsey is going to be the starting center for Marshall? No disrespect, Bryce. None, but Logan Osborne's the guy. We know that one. We absolutely know that one. Mike Green, we know he's starter on defense. We know that. J.J. Roberts, we know he's a starter on defense. We know that. Ethan Payne, we know he's going to get a lot of carries, probably some carries going to A.J. Turner, Jordan Houston. We know that. I think the big one everyone's circling is going to be the starting quarterback. And again, in numerical order, number 1, Braylon Braxton, or Stone Earl at number 11, or number 12, Cole Pennington. Isn't it fun? And we'll get into some of the reasons why Coach Huff is not exactly giving us the complete game plan. Here's who's going to start. Here's what plays we're going to use them on. We'll hear from Coach Huff in just a few minutes on that. And, of course, we're going to hear from you as well. Our text line this hour is 304-396-TALK. 304-396-8255. Today, start of our ticket giveaway. We have tickets for each and every home game. And we start off with Stony Brook. And usually, I try to make you earn them. We don't do, hey, just 5th texter. Nothing like that. We're going to make you earn it today. And I got a good one. Marshall's running the air raid now. So on Saturday, game 1, how many air raid touchdowns will Marshall have? And you can text that in for your chance to win a 4-pack to see Marshall take on Stony Brook. Our text line is going to be 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. So how many air raid touchdowns, game 1, will the Thundering Herd throw? 2, 3, more, 0. That's a valid number as well. You can throw that one out there. Marshall will not throw an air raid touchdown. It could be a complete running attack. We'll see. Because, again, it's going to really depend on what Marshall's able to do based off of what Stony Brook gives them. And that's going to be a challenge for Marshall on Saturday initially because you don't have anything to really sit down and say, okay, this is what they have done traditionally. This is a new coach, Billy Kosh, new coach, first year, and he does have a little history, being at VMI and other places. So Marshall has been looking at what he has done in the past, what his coaching staff has done in the past at different places. You've kind of Frankenstein this game film of, okay, here's this player played somewhere else. He's now on Kosh's team. Or here's Kosh. This is what his offense looks like. Here's this player who happened to be at VMI with him, so he's now with him. Here's what he kind of looks like. It's kind of that sort of piecing it together. So we'll get all of that for you. And a little bit later on, we're going to hear from Caleb Bowen. And I want to hear from you. Again, our text question of the day. And we're giving you away 4 tickets to go see Marshall take on Stony Brook. How many air raid touchdowns will the Thundering have on Saturday? How many touchdowns will the Thundering Herd have on Saturday? It's a mouthful, I know. All right, we'll get our break in. We want to hear from Coach Huff, and then we'll have some room for Caleb Bowen, and we'll have plenty of time for your text. And again, that number one more time, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Let's take our break, come back, and get started here on The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey, it's Lex and Terry, K&B Pest Control, locally owned and operated in Huntington, West Virginia, serving the tri-state.
Man, these guys are great. They do residential and commercial, indoor, outdoor, free estimates. These guys are the best, I'm telling you.
This is when the critters come out. High customer ratings, satisfaction guaranteed, large fleet, crew, meaning same-day appointments, and quick service.
All you got to do is pick up your phone and call Patrick, the owner. Okay, that's what you got to do. Or Becca. They're standing by to take care of you guys. It's KNBPestControl.com online, and give them a call, man. They got a great Facebook page. Go ahead and like it. They got a phone number. We'll give you that. Why not? It's free. 304-523-4281.
Or go to KNBPestControl.com. They will tell you what everything looks like, what you're looking for, if you're getting a pest problem, and get on top of it. They're the best. Make sure you call Patrick once again, who is very passionate about his pest control, or Becca. K&B Pest Control. They'll kill for your business.
Trust the guys with over 40 years of experience at K&B Pest Control.
Are you tired of the blazing sun beating down on you while you drive? Well, say goodbye to heat and glare with ProTint, your Lumar Formula One tint installer. ProTint's premier window tinting not only keeps you cool and comfortable, but also protects your vehicle's interior from fading and cracking. ProTint guarantees a flawless installation every time. Choose ProTint for a sleek, stylish look, unbeatable UV protection, and customer service. Visit WV ProTint on Facebook today.
My son loves to fly kites, but my active psoriatic arthritis can sometimes hold me back. Now with Skyrizi to treat my skin and joints, I'm ready to go. Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults, helps with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue. For those who also have plaque psoriasis, 90% clearer skin is possible with just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions and an increased risk of infections or a lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check for infection and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms such as fever, sweats, chills, muscle aches, or cough, or if you plan to or recently received a vaccine.
With Skyrizi, there's nothing like clearer skin and better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi today and visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKY-RIZZI to learn more.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Giovanni's Pizza. Fresh, hot, and tasty. Have it delivered right to your door. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Welcome back to our Tuesday edition, The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. In a minute, we're going to hear from Marshall head coach Charles Huff, part of his presser from earlier today. Some of the highlights, at least, from today. Later on, we're going to hear from Marshall cross-country coach Caleb Bowen. The women picked 3rd preseason. The men picked 6th. We'll talk to him about the outlook for the upcoming season. That's coming up about 5:30. Let's hit the text line first at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. A lot of responses already to this one. Texter says, Paul, Marshall's going to have 3 air raid touchdowns, light up Stony Brook, and excite the fan base for the rest of the season. That is a hope. We see a lot of touchdowns. If you light up against Stony Brook, I'm sure a lot of Herd fans will be happy with the outcome. Texter says, Paul, on Saturday, I would think 4 touchdowns through the air. All 3 quarterbacks will have at least 1, with Cole having 2. Although I'm worried that the longer not naming a quarterback goes, the less connected the offense will be by the time they go to Virginia Tech. We're going to address that in a couple of minutes. We've got Coach Huff, at least a little bit of today's presser, his thoughts on that depth chart. So I think we'll have at least an answer for you. After that, I don't know how you're going to respond to it. We're going to find out. Texter says, Paul, 2 touchdowns using the air raid. Don't need to show much tape for Virginia Tech. That's a good point. You got to play the game, so there's going to be some tape, and so they're going to see a little bit of you. How much do you really reveal? If you've got an opponent like Stony Brook and you don't take them lightly and you prepare and you can put them away. Now, if this is going to be a dogfight, you're going to have to go out there and fight to win the game. But if you can put them away or at least keep them far enough where you can maybe go base and you don't have to do too much extraordinary. Keep it vanilla when you can, but at the same time, I'm not going to overlook Stony Brook. Don't know too much about them just yet. Brand new coach, brand new everything. Billy Kosh, the head coach, his father, Chris Kosh. Both Koshes have been everywhere. And we've got Coach Huff's thoughts on that in a second as well. So I would think that if you can get away with not showing all your cards, you do that. Also, back to the text line. Texter says, Paul, 3 by air, 2 by land, 38-14 Herd, Devin Miller, former Herd TE. I see what you're saying. Okay, I read that too fast. 3 by air, 2 by land, 38-14 Herd. Good job. All right, let's get to the quotes, and we'll get more of your text in just a second. First up, opening statement. Coach Huff talked a little bit about some of the new procedures going on, some of the security. You've got the fencing. You've got to come a little earlier if you want to get in. You can come late. You might just have to wait in line a little longer. So opening gates up 2 hours early. So if you want to get there, get your seat, get inside, there'll be some discounted items for you for a while. Happy hour, they're going to call it. You got an opportunity to come in, get a couple of hot dogs, drink, spend a few bucks, not too much. And so Marshall's sort of catching up to where everyone else is doing now, stadium-wise and security-wise. And then he focused on his connection to Billy Kosh. Chris Kosh, coach at Maryland. Coach Huff was, I believe, a GA at the time. And so there's already a connection. We don't know much about what Stony Brook's going to bring, but at least Coach Huff has an idea. He's familiar a little bit, and there is a connection.
Really good opponent. Coach Billy Kosh is taking over. I worked with his dad way back in the day when I was a young pup. His dad is a legendary coach, brilliant mind, and you can see those qualities in Coach Kosh. They've got a new culture, new system, 40-plus new players, a whole new staff. So it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah, the challenge is you don't know. Brand new team, new coach, new players. That might be the challenge every single year when you play an opponent that maybe either has a coaching change, or if they don't have a coaching change, they might have up to 40 new players. And that's going to be the challenge. How many players can you retain, and then can you use the transfer portal to go out and kind of fill the gaps in? Instead of rebuilding your team on a yearly basis with the transfer portal, can you build your team, retain enough of your team to go out and then augment and get those missing pieces and finalize what should be a good team if you've done it right? That's going to be the challenge, I think, on a yearly basis. So what are the challenges of having a new coach as the opponent and a team that is starting off fresh at Stony Brook?
You know, the challenge is not everyone's kind of like, oh, well, it's a 1AA school or it's a lower level school. Well, I'm sure Notre Dame said that about us when we showed up. And I want to make sure that's not the mentality from our players. First. Second, with the transfer portal, they've got some Power 5 players on their team. They've got some Group of 5 players on their team. So it's not really the old, you're just playing the logo. You really have to prepare every single week to be the best versions of yourself, because you really don't know. This is a little bit more difficult for us because, like I said, Coach Kosh and his staff are brand new. So we're looking at different film from other places these coaches have been, other schemes they've run. We really don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, there's anticipation of what guys have done in their past. Obviously, there's anticipation of what guys traditionally have been schematically, but we don't know. And then we don't know about those other 40 players. Now, we've done research and we've tried to look at their film from other schools, but you don't know how a guy's being coached. You don't know what he's being asked to do. You don't know if he's being played out of position. You don't know if Coach Kosh brings a guy in and moves him to another position. So there's a lot of unknowns.
A lot of unknowns. So what does that make the focus for the game plan this week?
We have to focus on what we can control, and that's how we prepare all week. That's understanding what we're trying to do. That's having a sense of urgency on Saturday to react and respond to what they do. Coaches got to be flexible. We can put a great game plan together, and we could say we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and they could come out and wing T, and we got to go right back to the drawing board. So it's a little bit of a challenge just because of the unknown. Obviously, our guys are excited. Our team is excited. Our coaching staff is excited. So there's a lot of positive, but we got a lot of work to do between now and Saturday.
I would come out in the wing tee just to see if they catch the herd off guard. If I was Stony Brook, maybe I would come out on the wing tee. Let's just throw one play, wing tee, see what happens. Coach Huff is confident. I'm sure that he's got a lot of depth. He's got pieces he can work with, but at the same time, the depth chart has been a question. That's what a lot of us have been talking about. Hey, who's going to start at quarterback? Who's going to start at wide receiver? Why isn't the depth chart out? It's Stony Brook. I've heard it all. Now we've got the depth chart with the header based unofficially on preseason. So there's no guarantee that Braylon Braxton will be under center for the first snap. There's no guarantee that Cole Pennington will be under center, or Stone Earl. They're listed as 1, 11, or 12 by number. Braxton, Stone Earl, Cole Pennington. Who gets the start? Braxton's in bold, but that doesn't mean anything right now. This could change tomorrow. So why has the depth chart not been released? And again, we've got sort of the rough draft today, but this is not official. This is not the gospel. Why has the depth chart not been released?
Yeah, I know everyone's kind of like, well, why did you release the depth chart? Why don't you name the quarterback? Honestly, guys, we don't know. And when I say that, it doesn't mean we're lost. Like, honestly, we had a meeting with the quarterbacks on Monday, and we were dead honest with them. We said, any three of you in this room could go out and start. Now, what we got to do is we got to allow you to go through the game plan. So we haven't really, before Monday of this week, yesterday, we hadn't really flipped the page to Stony Brook. We were still kind of, install and variations of what we do. Last year, we flipped the page to, the first opponent 2 weeks in advance. And I think what happens is you get a little bit overconfident because you're looking at the same 50 clips. You get the, okay, I got it. I've seen this clip before. I know. Here comes the one where he goes inside, or here comes the one where, he throws it to the outside. And naturally, your mind gets kind of conditioned into comfort. So we waited until Monday of this week, just like we would any other week, to kind of give them the scouting report in the film. To try and keep their minds, in the typical rhythm of a season. You usually have, you get the scouting report on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, go out and play.
That's why you haven't seen the depth chart. They just don't know, and they don't mean that we really don't know. It's, hey, we got options here. So they're using, at least that was the impression I got, they're using this week as an opportunity to do more evaluations. Opportunity to see, okay, this is game week. This is how we're preparing for the game. Who's got this? We know who's good. We know who can play. But who's got this? Who can give us the best opportunity to win by practice, by preparation? That was the impression I got as to Coach Huff, why this week is more of an evaluation week.
We still have another piece of evaluation, and that's not just for the quarterbacks. That's for a few different positions. Now it's not just memorizing the plays that we run in our system and why. Now it's game plan application. Okay, versus this coverage, how do you adjust? Versus this call, where do you align? Hey, we're changing the alignment on this play because of their coverage or because of their scheme. So that's kind of put another evaluation tool into it. We met with them and said, hey, look, this week's going to be truly evaluation because now I have something to kind of memorize. I can memorize the coverages they play on first and second down. I can memorize the third down blitz package. I can memorize, the fronts that I have to check a run to. So it's another piece of it. With that being said, there is a lot of positive because we do have options.
Coach Huff on the evaluation, the depth chart. So what's this quarterback competition still going on? Usually we know by now, right? We would know by now. Well, Cole's going to be the guy, or Stone's going to be the guy, or Braylon, he's going to be the guy. We would know that, right? Well, according to Coach Huff, it's a little different this season.
Every year since I've been here, I knew August 1 who the guy was going to be. You always give the ability for competition, but usually there's a guy who's more mature. Usually there's a guy who's been in the system longer. We didn't have that this year. We had three guys that were really and are still kind of here. And really it's going to come down to, we go out there today on Tuesday, who can implement the game plan? Who can make the checks? Why did you make that throw? Okay, I made the throw because he did this. Same thing at other positions. Receivers, why did you line up there? Well, I lined up there because on this coverage, I'm supposed to cut my split. Okay, now I know you're processing the information. So that's a big piece of it. It's not we're trying to trick some people, and I get it. And I know the fans want to know, and I want to let you know. But I'd hate to tell you something today, and then Saturday something different. You go, oh, man, Huff's a liar. Well, we're not there yet. And I know it's frustrating, or at least, you're the anticipation of who's it going to be. But I feel like we could roll any of the three out there and honestly play at a really high level. If the one we roll out there can apply game plan application to the exact what we're doing this week.
That's Coach Huff earlier today. We'll have more from him this week as we get closer to the start. Marshall, Stony Brook will have the game for you at 2 p.m. airtime, 5 kick right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Looks to be a fun Saturday. I don't know how the weather's going to look, though. I got a couple of people already texting me about that, asking, what do you think the weather's going to be? Texter says, Paul, I hope the weather changes drastically before Saturday, cause the television stations are calling for downpours and lightning during the game. It'll be fine. We'll be good. I have confidence. We'll be good. I know, famous last words, right? Texter says, Paul, my guess is 1 air raid touchdown. I believe they will be trying so much on offense that it will just be spread around. All right, you can text in as well. Our text of the day, 304-396-TALK. How many air raid touchdowns will the Thundering Herd have on Saturday? That is a mouthful to say. I'm going to rework that. How many air raid touchdowns will Marshall score on Saturday? We're giving you a chance to win a 4-pack to go see the Herd take on Stony Brook. That's coming up on Saturday. We're going to have a quick diversion. We're going to hear from Marshall's cross-country coach, Caleb Bowen, and we're going to get more of your text, and we're going to ask Coach how many air raid touchdowns does he think the Herd will score. We'll do that when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Remember the first day of school, new backpack, fresh hairstyle, cool new shoes? Now, if only Mom had washed the car before dropping you off. Send your kids back to class and help them make a great first impression this new school year with a clean ride from Thoroughbred Express. Choose from a range of services tailored to meet your needs. From their signature wash and dry to tire shine, foam bath, triple foam, wheel cleaner, bug press, ceramic seal, ceramic shield, and weather guard. Thoroughbred Express has you covered. And after your wash, enjoy post-wash amenities like high-powered vacuums, all-purpose cleaner spray, fresh microfiber towels, and dedicated bay trash cans. All available at your local Thoroughbred Express location. So whether you're dropping the kids off or heading to campus yourself, a quick visit to Thoroughbred will make this school year shine. Wash with the best. Thoroughbred Express. Find a Thoroughbred Express location near you at thoroughbredexpress.com.
Get ready for the tastiest event of the year. Quantum Party Rentals proudly presents the return of the annual Rib Fest Barbecue and Food Festival. It's Finger Licking time. Join us September 5th through the 8th at Harris Riverfront Park in Huntington for 4 days of mouth-watering barbecue, delicious food, and nonstop fun. Experience world-class barbecue vendors serving up award-winning ribs, chicken, and sauces. Plus, enjoy a variety of other foods and desserts. Bring the family for thrilling carnival rides. Don't miss out on our nightly entertainment. Country Night with Chase, Mitchell, and Little Texas. Friday, Rock and Roll Night with Hair Supply and the Kiss Tribute Band. Saturday, Oldie Goldie Night featuring the Esquires, the Coasters, and Paulie and the Greaseballs. And of course, there's cold beer and fun for all ages. Mark your calendar for September 5th through the 8th, Harris Riverfront Park. Get more info, visit WVRibFest.com. Sponsored by Kinder Communications, WSAZ Channel 3, Gomar, Pepsi, Miller Lite, HD Media, Budweiser, Polka Valley Bank, Mountain State Beverage, Optimum, Sandy's Racing and Gaming, Quantum Party Rentals, and K&B Pest Control. Don't miss the return of the annual Rib Fest.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
We continue on with our Tuesday edition of The Drive. Paul Swann, your host here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Our text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Our question of the day, how many air raid touchdowns will the Thundering Herd score on Saturday? We're going to give you an opportunity to win 4 tickets to go see the Herd take on Stony Brook on Saturday. All you have to do is be a part of our text line today. Someone who cannot be a part of our text line, because I'm sure he's already got his tickets, is Marshall's cross-country coach Caleb Bowen. But how many air raid touchdowns will the Thundering Herd score on Saturday, Caleb? What do you think?
Well, do we know who the quarterback is yet?
Well, according to the game notes that we got today, the Marshall depth chart, based unofficially on preseason, lists either quarterback 1, Braylon Braxton, or quarterback 11, Stone Earl, or quarterback 12, Cole Pennington. So you got 1 in 3 right there. You got 1 in 3 shot.
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm just going to take a guess and just say I think there's going to be 5 passing touchdowns and probably 3 rushing. I think we're going to just open it up on them.
5 passing, 3 rushing. So 8 touchdowns. Herd fans will go home happy.
I just know we have a lot of really good receivers. That's the only thing I know.
Okay.
So hopefully they can eat a little bit this weekend.
I'm hoping the billboard material doesn't get posted because of this show. Yeah, you know, their cross-country coach said that they're going to score 8 on us. Let's show that guy. Caleb Bowen's with us, the head coach of the cross-country team. I'm sure Coach Huff would like you just to stay away from football as much as, you know, we would love to talk about football. You had a pretty good week last week. We got preseason rankings. You know, those always mean something. I don't know what they mean in your world, but Marshall was picked 3rd. The men picked 6th. What's your initial thoughts on where you think the league has you right and maybe where they have you wrong?
Well, to be honest, you know, as a track coach secret, cross-country coach secret, you know what most people do? They go back to last year's results and copy and paste. And that's why it's hard to really take those rankings into, like, you know, very seriously, just because I know that's how it is for most coaches, and that's exactly what I did. So it's hard because we really don't know what other teams brought in, like recruit-wise, and, you know, with the transfer portal and everything, we know several that have gone away into other schools. So it's really hard to tell, but I'm definitely excited because I think we're going to be surprising a lot of people on both sides, both men and women. Because I think the women will definitely move up as long as we can stay healthy. And then men, I mean, they're going to definitely move up because they were a lot better than 6th last year. But we just had a really bad day at the conference championship. You know, several things went wrong. You know, ended up having to go to the hospital for one of the athletes to collapse 300 meters from the finish line. And, you know, it just wasn't our day on the men's side. So we can only go up from there. That's for sure.
Caleb Bowen's with us, cross-country coach Marshall. Women picked 3rd, men picked 6th. So this isn't a sport where, like football or basketball, you got to guard somebody, you got a game plan for somebody. This really doesn't matter what the other team has, just as long as you know what you have and what you're able to do. It's truly one of those where it doesn't matter what they do, we take care of ourselves, we'll be fine.
Yeah, for sure. That's something I tell all of our athletes before every meet. You know, you can only control the controllables, and you definitely can't control what other people do. So you just have to run your race, you know, run the best that you can do, and let the dice fall where they lie. I mean, you know, like you said, if we just take care of ourselves, good things happen, you know, but a lot of times you do have people, you know, other athletes get into our heads or vice versa. And I think that's a big part of the mental game for cross country because it is a hard sport. I mean, you're redlining for 3 to 5 to 6 miles out in the cross country course. And a lot of times it's humid, it's hot, or it could be really cold, rainy, muddy. You know, all the conditions are so tough. So like, being able to just control what you can control is huge for our sport.
My guest is Caleb Bowen, Marshall's cross-country coach. The women picked 3rd preseason Sun Belt, and I'm sure a lot of people, when they think of the Thundering Herd, automatically think of Kylie Maston. So she's back, 2-time all-conference runner. What does she mean to your team?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, she's currently doing her master's degree in dietetics. So she has a loaded class schedule. You know, she's actually doing an internship where she's going to be in Charleston for the next 7 weeks. But she's a huge part of it. Essentially, whenever I looked at this year's group on the women's side, I have Kylie Masson basically taking Abby Herring's role from last year. And, you know, I'm moving some other people up where Kylie was last year. You know, Hannah Weiler's ready to take that next step. Hannah Toff's ready. You know, Taylor Spencer, who scored in the steeplechase last year, she's ready. And then we brought in, you know, 2 really good athletes, freshmen, you know, from the state. One's from Doddridge, one's from Ripley. One was barely a runner-up in the 3,200 in track season where she got out-leaned at the line to almost win the 2-mile championship. And then the other got second in literally everything that she ran because she was going up against one of the best athletes in our state. But those two have grown so much over the summer, just with the summer training, and now they're with our group, and they've just excelled. So it's going to be a really fun group.
Does it help that when Kylie takes over, I mean, really, can you say she takes over because she's already been there? And with Abby not being there, does she realize or take on the responsibility of, okay, I got to take the load on a little bit more? Thankfully, I had somebody who was here to help me, and now I got to do the same. That she kind of get that a natural progression?
I think so. I mean, Abby's still around. She's finishing up her master's degree and working and stuff, but she's training for her for a marathon, the Columbus Marathon, where she's trying to go for Olympic trials qualifying. So she's around, and she lives with Kylie, so they're still training with each other and all of that. But yeah, I think she's taking on the role really well in terms of like how the group is within the team. And yeah, she's trying to push the other girls to be better and to get as close to her as possible. So it's gonna be fun to see what Kylie does this year, both in cross country and indoor track.
Of course, Kylie and Abby both cut up, so they bring that sort of that bonus of just being, I don't want to call them class clowns, but they're fun, right?
Oh yeah, definitely fun.
On the men's side, better than 6, you think? What excites you about the team coming back and what you've brought in?
Yeah, so last year we had a lot of good seniors. I mean, Evan White was an all-conference runner, both in cross country and track and field. Ronnie Saunders was the returning runner-up in the steeplechase, and he's school record holder in the 3K. So we're losing a lot of talent, but we brought in a lot of talent, and some of the it's a young team, so sophomores, we have like 7 of them, and they've grown to become leaders because we just don't have that many seniors on this team. We have Kaz, and that's really about it. Kaz is a senior from Michigan who should be vying for that top 5. But what I'm really excited about is not only having Kaz and some of those sophomores develop and grow, but we have a lot of really good freshmen as well. Justin Lipscomb from Winfield, he was a multi-state champion last year. He's one of the best athletes to come out of West Virginia. They had a really good team last year at Winfield. His former and current teammate Landon Brumfield, he's a freshman as well, and he's probably a little more geared towards track, but to be honest, he's done some great things so far. And actually Luke Good, who's more of a track guy as well, he's definitely grown. And I thought he was just going to be an 800 runner, but to be honest, he has definitely surprised me on the cross-country course. So very excited to see some of these young guys contribute and be in that top 5.
It's impressive to see where this has been and where it's going. What has amazed you the most over the last few years of how far this has progressed, not only for you, but as a program as a whole? It's upward moving, which is what you wanted.
Yeah, I mean, so I started coaching here 9 years ago, and I was a runner here as well. So I've been around the Marshall program since 2011. And, it's crazy to think how far it's come along since I was running. I mean, we had some great athletes like Matthew Schiffbauer qualified for nationals, was a all-conference runner. But, we just had cross-country, and that was it. And now that we brought back men's track, it's a whole nother element that has just unlocked a lot of potential out of these athletes. I mean, you can't have cross-country without track and field. You can't have track and field without cross-country. They just go hand in hand. So that's been huge. And, we've had great recruiting classes throughout the years, even before we brought track back. I mean, the Evan White, Ronnie Saunders, Jacob Barakis crew that I brought in back in 2018 to 2019 was a really good class. And they showed off, and they were, instrumental with bringing back men's track, towards their later years. But I think the success that they had, especially as we brought back men's track, has been great for some of these younger guys that we brought in this year. So yeah, it's been really cool to see the progression, both men and women's teams. Because the women, let's be honest, they've grown to probably the most since my 9 years being here. They were continually a bottom of the barrel type team, and through their hard work, I didn't really do much with it. They are the ones that did all the hard work. They've pushed themselves to become better, and then you got girls like Abby Herring and Kylie Maston and others who've really just pushed the envelope and made this program a lot better.
Caleb Bowen's with us, cross-country coach, Marshall University, picked 3rd on the women's side, 6th on the men's side. Do you get some sort of push from the Olympics that just concluded? I'm sure you were watching as much as you possibly could. Of course, Yeah, it's always fun every 4 years to watch the Olympics, but is there an added bonus, a boost? Do you see that? Does it run in cycles?
Not so much for me, but I definitely can tell with some of the athletes, where it's on primetime television. You're able to watch some of our sport's greatest stars out on TV, on NBC or whatever it is. Like, that's really cool because they find a lot of relatability with it. And a lot of their friends who may not watch track and field on TV are able to do so now. So it's an opportunity for them to kind of explain the sport, show off like who's who and the greatest stars on our sport. So, for me, I get excited for track and cross country, no matter if it's Olympic year or whatnot. I get excited about ultra running, and that's 24-hour events, that's 100-mile, whatever. I get excited for that stuff, and I would say most people don't because it's just a lot of slow people running for really far distances. But the whole sport of running's fun, and I think the Olympics definitely brings a lot of excitement to that. So I'm all for making our sport more visible.
Caleb Bowen's with us. Are you going to run around any more mountains? Are you going to tackle any more deserts? What's next on your agenda?
I actually do. I have a 100-mile race in the desert in Phoenix coming up in October. So before the conference championship, I'll be going out there and seeing what I can do.
You love it. I mean, you just put yourself through all of that, and you keep coming back for more. That's amazing. Most humans would die doing that kind of stuff.
I don't know about that. I think everybody can do it if they devoted all the time and hard work necessary to do it. But
if they had you as their coach, they could do it. It's what you're saying.
Maybe.
That's the recruiting pitch right there.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, we have used the ultra stuff in our recruiting because I do have a documentary that's kind of about me and Holly Ann Swann, who's a volunteer coach here at Marshall, and she's an ultra runner as well. It's really cool to showcase that documentary to some of the recruits. I just feel kind of weird doing it though.
My guest is Caleb Bowen. He is a cross-country coach, Marshall University. Before I let you go, I would be remiss if I didn't mention, of course, Abby Herring. She is the Marshall selection and the Sun Belt selection for NCAA Woman of the Year. Thoughts on that? I mean, how do you put that into words?
I mean, I'm not surprised. Like, everything that she does is it's just awesome. I mean, not only in running, where she progressed so much and gave a lot of her time, energy into becoming the best athlete and showcasing Marshall on the highest level, but, in her schoolwork and, now she's in her master's degree, she's teaching, she's all around, Woman of the Year. Definitely high on Abby Herring. It's just so easy to gloat about her. So proud of her, not surprised in the slightest, but definitely excited for her.
Just the fact that some of your athletes are now the rock stars and standouts at Marshall University, I'm sure you believe this day could happen, but does it make it any more real now that it's here that, I knew this. I knew that one day our student athletes would be the rock stars on this campus.
In the first couple of years, I didn't know if it ever happened, but yeah, I definitely. I mean, whenever you can see it, year by year, it does make it more believable, and it is fun. I'm blessed to be the coach here and to be able to work with some amazing people. Both men and women. They're awesome, and they inspire me.
My guest is Caleb Bowen, cross-country coach. Again, Marshall picked 3rd on the women's side, 6th on the men's side. Of course, as Caleb said, the coaches just copied and pasted from last year, and it's going to be a lot different, hopefully. Hey, good luck. This has been fun. I mean, absolutely been fun to follow this, and more good things I'm sure are coming your way. And again, good luck, congratulations, and good luck in the desert. That's probably the biggest one right now. Good luck in the desert.
Thank you. Even though I think it's just as hot out here now as it is out in the desert. So.
Perfect training weather, right? This is perfect training weather for the desert. We need
exactly. Now, I don't even need to go to the sun at the YMCA now. It's just go outside.
Just go outside. I love it. Caleb, good luck. Thanks for doing it.
Yep. Thank you.
That's Caleb Bowen. It's so hot outside you can train for the desert right now in Huntington. Text lines 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter wrote in and said, we're in the Sun Belt Conference, all caps there. Are we practicing in 90-degree heat to get ready, or is it too hot on the turf for the coaches? Practice closed. Paul don't get to go, and I think they're adjusting as they need to. I think they're doing everything right. And, of course, that's going to be an advantage for Marshall and with some teams, not all teams, but I think they're being smart about everything. But it is hot out there. I know a couple area high school teams have moved games back. I know Spring Valley's game's been moved back. I know Ashland's game has been moved back to the 8 o'clock hour. I won't be surprised if we see a few more games moved back because of the heat advisory. So, it's been rough out there these last few days and weeks. Quick timeout. We'll get more of your text in. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Text of the day. How many air raid touchdowns will the Thundering Herd have for Game 1 on Saturday? We're giving you an opportunity to walk home with 4 tickets to go see the Herd take on Stony Brook Saturday. That text line again, 304-396-TALK. More coming up. Today's edition of The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Get ready for the tastiest event of the year. Quantum Party Rentals proudly presents the return of the annual Rib Fest Barbecue and Food Festival. It's Finger Licking time. Join us September 5th through the 8th at Harris Riverfront Park in Huntington for 4 days of mouth-watering barbecue, delicious food, and nonstop fun. Experience world-class barbecue vendors serving up award-winning ribs, chicken, and sauces. Plus, enjoy a variety of other foods and desserts. Bring the family for thrilling carnival rides. Don't miss out on our nightly entertainment. Country Night with Chase Mitchell and Little Texas. Friday, Rock and Roll Night with Hair Supply and the Kiss Tribute Band. Saturday, Oldie Goldie Night featuring the Esquires, the Coasters, and Paulie and the Greaseballs. And of course, there's cold beer and fun for all ages. Mark your calendar for September 5th through the 8th, Harris Riverfront Park. Get more info, visit WVRibFest.com. Sponsored by Kinder Communications, WSAZ Channel 3, Gomar, Pepsi, Miller Lite, HD Media, Budweiser, Polka Valley Bank, Mountain State Beverage, Optimum, Sandy's Racing and Gaming, Quantum Party Rentals, and K&B Pest Control. Don't miss the return of the annual Rib Fest.
Get everything for your next project at Menards and save big money. Enjoy a good night's sleep for less with a new Serta mattress. Shop today and save big. The better the mattress, the better the savings. Find the perfect mattress that fits your size and firmness needs at Menards. America's #1 home improvement retailer for customer satisfaction, according to J.D. Power. Visit jdpower.com for details and menards.com for deals.
Save big money at Menards.
Giovanni's has great Italian dishes. Spaghetti with meat sauce, lasagna, ravioli, manicotti, all dinners served with hot garlic bread or Italian rolls. Giovanni's, the Italian place to be.
Our Kindred Communications family of stations reminds you of the need for blood donations to the Red Cross. Blood is always needed. It may save your life or the life of a loved one. This reminder is brought to you in part by
University of Rio Grande and Rio Grande Community College. Visit at rio.edu. Rio, changing tomorrows. Swisher and Losi Pharmacy, independently owned with free local delivery and drive-through service. 636 East Main Street in Pomeroy, Ohio.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union has been serving the Huntington community for 70 years and is proud to announce our newest location in Lavalette is now open. Wayne County residents, you now have access to a modern banking facility, a full range of services, advanced technology, expert financial advice, and even a smart coffee kiosk cafe. Learn more about Metro Community Federal Credit Union online at metrocommunityfcu.com or visit us today on 5th Street Road.
Equal housing lender, member NCUA.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Bianna's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
This is The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.
Final chance for you to get your text in this hour for our 4 tickets, family 4-pack to go see Marshall take on Stony Brook Saturday. 5 o'clock kick. We'll have the game starting at 2 right here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. That text line is 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. If you missed us just a few minutes ago, we had Marshall Cross Country coach Caleb Bowen on. He said there's going to be 5 air raid touchdowns and 3 touchdowns on the ground. So 8 total touchdowns against Stony Brook. I don't know if that's the kind of bulletin board material that Coach Huff wants, but Caleb is being really optimistic there. So where are you at with this right now? I think 3 has been the number, 3 and 2. If I go back and look at these again, I think that's kind of been the general consensus. I should have thrown a little challenge to this and say, okay, who's going to throw the most? Because I believe we will see on this unofficial depth chart, we will see at least some performances from Braylon Braxton, Stone Earl, and Cole Pennington. All 3 of them, I think, will have some opportunity to go out there and play. I just don't know in what order. Will it be Braylon? Will it be Stone? Will it be Cole? And it depends really on how well they prepare, how well their game preparation is. And at the same time, how much do you want to show next game? How much do you really want to go out there and show? You got Stony Brook coming in. You can maybe run base offense, get the job done, get a good evaluation of what you got, win the game. Herd fans go home happy. You get ready for the next opponent. There'll be some film out there on you if you don't show too much. What will the other team really get from the game performance if you run base? And again, Stony Brook is going to pose a different challenge because you just don't know what they're going to throw. Hey, what if they come out and run a wing T, right? What if they come out and they don't go air raid, they throw the tight end a lot, or okay, we got to cover that now. Oh, what if they option a lot? Okay. What if it's complete up the middle all the time? They just pound. Okay, we got to adjust for that. You really don't know what this team's going to do because there's not a history on this team. It's sort of similar with Marshall. You knew what Marshall would do in the past, but all you can go on now is, okay, Marshall's going to run the air raid. And so we got to prepare for the air raid. This particular flavor of air raid, we'll see what it looks like when Marshall rolls out there. Which quarterback is going to be the quarterback to start? Which quarterback is going to be the quarterback to get the most snaps? And again, your starter might not necessarily be the guy that gets the most snaps out there on Saturday, or that might not be an indication of which quarterback will be the one to get the nod going forward. I don't think we're going to have this go too long, though. We'll have a better understanding of what the quarterback position will look like. That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to draw one of your names now from the text line. We'll give you another opportunity to win tomorrow. If you don't hear from us today, don't worry. We'll have another chance for you to win tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone. I'll be back with you tomorrow here on ESPN 94.1.
Retransmitting in Glorious FM on 94.1 W227BS Huntington. This is 930 WRVC Huntington, celebrating 100 years of broadcasting.